Where? Perfect. All right, everybody. So Michelle, we have until about an hour. I know it's shorter than what we originally talked about, but we have till just shortly after 12:50 at the latest our time.
Okay.
So if we have to do another session, we will. But we'll if we find something's kind of dragging out, then maybe we'll just pause it or put a period, and we'll come back to it as a separate session. So everyone, Michelle is on the line and on the web. We are going to record this session so we can use it for training as well, which is great. Michelle is, everyone knows and loves her from ISN, and we all work with ISN every single day. You know, it's a critical piece to our business. I use it daily. It gives me a dashboard to see our overall business and all of our management of agents, etc. So in talking to Michelle about this session, you know, it's pretty direct with her, like I told you this morning, with all of our partners that we use ISN already. We love the functionality of it. I don't want this session to be focused on, you know, as a help desk on how we currently use it. If you need help with that stuff, you should call ISN support and get help with it. Today, I want to focus on unlocking the unexpected value. So all of the extra stuff that ISN does that really none of us are using, or very few of us are using, that will help us grow our business, increase revenue, and leapfrog over our competition. So without further ado, Michelle, I'll pass it over to you. The group is yours.
Thanks so much, Rick. I really appreciate it. Love working with you guys. So let me ask you this. Is Zhidenko there? Do I get to pick on him today?
Right beside you.
I'm here.
All right. Awesome. Okay. All right. Very good. So thanks for the opportunity to work with you guys today. Like Rick said, we're going to go over some things that you probably have seen, but you probably aren't using, except for the first one, because I know I've talked to Zhidenko before about it, but hopefully today will be the day that I can get him to take that next step. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and go on to my next slide here. So the very next slide is going to be talking about the importance of owning your own SMS. Now, is there anybody in the group who already owns their own SMS number? And when I say SMS, I mean your own text messaging number within ISN. Is there anybody who already owns it? Nobody. Okay. Nobody.
You have a very skeptical group about why they need this. So
oh my goodness. Well, hopefully today's the day that I can get them to make that extra step. Okay. All right. So every ISN comes with a text messaging number. That text messaging number is area code 702. It is a generic number that all ISNs use that don't own their own. Okay. Now, there's a couple things about that number. The first thing is if a client texts back a reply, that reply, most of the time, we can figure out that it belongs to you. But since it's a generic number, sometimes it's a little hard for us to figure out who it belongs to. But when they reply, if we can figure out it goes to your office, then it goes to your manager's email. If they make a mistake and they call that number, it goes into la la land. We have no way of directing that number to you, okay? So when you purchase your own SMS number and you click on purchase, and then you can put in your area code. So Zhidenko, what's your area code again?
902.
902?
Yep.
All right, so if I click on 902 and hit show more results, Zhidenko can then pick out a area code, a phone number that is local to his area, okay? Something that maybe is easy for people to remember. Now, if he does that, here's the cool thing about it. Of course, like I said, it's local, right? The next thing about it is if somebody calls that number, that phone number or that phone call is going to get routed to your office number. So if you send out a reminder for a home inspection and that home inspection at the last minute got canceled, maybe there was some kind of a repair that wasn't complete, maybe the seller's disclosure revealed something at the last minute, and so they're trying to call you to tell you that that inspection's been canceled. If they call that number that you sent the reply from, you're not going to get it unless you own your own SMS number, short messaging system number. What a lot of people do is they refer to it and advertise it as the office texting number. So they will freely hand out this number and say, if you want to text the office, just text this number. Okay. Now this number that you purchase here is $15 a month. So it's less the cost of 1/2 of an inspection for you to make sure that you're getting all of your communication. Okay? Here's the other advantage. You all know what the real estate dashboard is, right?
Yeah.
You've heard of it?
But no.
Okay. All right. So I don't want to make an assumption that you know what the real estate dashboard is. Okay. We're going to talk about it here in a little bit. But the real estate dashboard is an app for the agents to schedule an inspection with you. Okay. They can schedule an inspection with you. They can view all the reports they've done with you. And in a little bit, we're going to talk about how they can create their own repair request list. And I know Adam's using this, but I want to get the rest of you up to speed as far as what it is and how to use it. The real estate dashboard is a great way for agents to do business with you because it's quick and easy. They're just going to put in the client's name, they're going to put in an address, and they're going to pick a date. And when you're on your mobile version of ISN, you can just text it to them, okay? So imagine you're at a property with a client or with an agent. She says, hey, you did a really great job. Can I have some of your cards? Give her some of your cards, but then you can follow that up with, hey, do you have my app so you can, go ahead and secure a time slot at 10 o'clock at night when you're done showing property for the day, et cetera, et cetera. From a service point of view, it would be really great to be able to just text it to the agent and help them put it on their phone right then and there. But in order to do that, you have to own your own SMS number. So again, the $15 a month, less than the cost of 1/2 of one inspection, and you've possibly increased the number of inspections you're getting because you've made it quick and easy for them to do business with you. The next thing you can do is you can SMS reschedule or cancel notices. So in your mobile version of ISN, and hopefully you guys are using your mobile version of ISN, if you own your own SMS number, you'll see on the agent details where you can just hit SMS or short messaging system and just text them, okay? But that's not even my favorite part about this. My favorite part is being able to add very specific templates for texting. So if you scroll down on your mobile version of ISN, do you see where it says call SMS people, right? When you click on call SMS people, then you're going to have an opportunity where you can choose who you want to text. And you'll see this blue send SMS. Now, the cool thing is you can have very specific templates set up. So what a lot of guys like to do is they like to put in their electrician referrals or their air conditioning referrals, or maybe it's 30 minutes before you're going to be done with the inspection and you just say, you're going to send a text to the agent to say, I'm almost done. That way you can make sure whether or not they're coming or not so you don't leave if they're coming for the wrap-up, right? So those are really quick for you to just hit the template and go ahead and send rather than having to find the agent's number, go in and manually type that text. You can just select that template and hit send, okay? And then the referrals, you can just say, okay, oh, you need my electricians. We just talked about this. You've got exposed wiring, unsafe wiring. You can just text them a message that says, here's my electricians. Go ahead and give them a call for a referral. Okay, so that's going to save you some time as well as far as with the templates. So you can set up unlimited templates. The only thing you have to keep in mind is it is a true text message. So you're limited to 114 characters. So you want to make sure that you have them within that, that limit, but you can put as many as you want and use them however you want. You just have to own your own SMS. Okay. Any questions about that at all, guys?
Yeah, Michelle, it's Kevin Travis from St. John here.
Hey.
I'm just wondering about the SMS phone number. I didn't realize that if you had one, it routed calls to your office number. My office number in ISN is my cell phone. I have a situation that's unique where I don't really live in my biggest urban center, so my phone number is not a local number. And of course, we know everybody likes to use local service people. So could I buy an SMS number and actually put it on my business cards, have it like a local St. John, number?
Yeah, and then it'll forward to your cell as long as you have that phone number in your ISN, in your office settings as the office number. Absolutely.
Wonderful. And that's totally reliable phone system?
Yeah,
You're paying
absolutely.
$37?
Yep, we purchase these numbers for you to use, so that's why there's a cost, because we have to buy them. So we don't have any issues as far as with those numbers going down or anything like that. I've never heard of a case, you know, unless of course the whole phone company were to go down, in which case we wouldn't have control over that, you know.
Wonderful. That might be a good solution for that.
Michelle, like I see the value, you know, other inspectors have told me in the past, I don't want to use my personal cell number that all my family members have, or I have multiple inspectors and I want to have one phone number for all of our inspectors. I wonder, would this help us? So then they could use this one number and it all kind of directs in?
Right. So they totally can hand out this number. It's just going to route to the office phone number. So wherever that office phone number goes, that's where it's going to route to. So, you know, whoever normally answers that phone. So in Travis's case, it would go to his cell, right? But if you have an office phone, then it would go to the office phone.
It allows you to promote a different number than your own personal cell, should you want that.
Michelle, I just have a quick question. If I get that number and I have my personal number, and somebody calls me from the SMS number on my cell phone, can I see which number they're calling? Like if they're calling my personal number, if they're calling that number? Like is there something that tells me?
No, you're going to see the incoming call, but you're not going to know what number they're calling to. It's just going to see that they're calling you.
Are the calls or the texts, are they logged in, saved in my ISN? So if I want to go back and see a history of any of that stuff, is that in there?
Your text message replies are going to be in your email, because when somebody replies to a text, it goes to the office email. So under settings and office settings, on the left-hand side in the upper left-hand tab, you have this tab called contact information. So whatever email address is in contact information as the manager's email, so in this case it's Zhidenko, that's where the replies for the text message are going to go. So it goes to your email and it says you've received a reply, and you can text back from that email if you need to, but their texts are not actually going to go to your phone. They're going to go to your email, whatever this email address is under manager's email.
My next question would be, currently the entire Atlantic team, we all use email events. We're not doing SMS events yet. So, but we are getting feedback from agents that, oh my God, I get too many emails from you guys. We've turned a lot of them off, like the reminder stuff like that. I wonder, and again, I want to find the value here as to how this can help us with our relationships with agents, how it can be more positive, and how it can make us all more money. So would it be recommended if we did buy our own SMS number, because then we have a local area code, then maybe we convert some of our email events that maybe are, you know, don't need to be an email, instead make them a text, and it's a nice short text going to the agent?
You know, you can do so much with your SMS events. You can deliver a link for the report. You could send them a text saying the report's ready so they can log in and grab the report. Your SMS events are just as unlimited as the SMS templates, which is what I was showing you in mobile. And you can turn them off and on per agent. So when you're taking an order, and Zhidenko, I'm going to open up an order form here. You can, of course, delete it later, right? But when you get to, and the client tab, it's there, of course, but I'm going to skip to the buyer's agent tab, and I'm going to go ahead and click add new buyer's agent. So you'll see where it says send SMS events. It will remember it for that agent from that point forward. So you can have it on for some agents and off for some agents. Okay. Now, here's the reason I like that. If you've got a busy agent, they're out in the field, they're showing property, they don't have time to look at their email, but they probably have a coordinator in their office who's handling all of their stuff. So I send both. I send the email so the coordinator has it, and then I send a text so the agent in the field gets it. And then when she has time, if she wants to go looking at the email, she absolutely can do that. But I think we all can agree that if we get a text, we immediately open our phone, pop it open, because we just glance down to see if it's something important. But emails, I mean, even I'll admit that sometimes with my emails, I can't even look at them for hours.
Okay, so
Right?
let me get this straight. If we can do, everyone in this room that is not doing the SMS $15 a month right now for a local number, they can all do SMS events, but those SMS texts instead of email events, those SMS events will go to the recipient as a Las Vegas area code. It will not be their own local area code. They're paying
If they don't own
$15
their own.
to get
Mhm.
the local area code. Okay.
Actually, now that you brought that up, I have that send SMS events turned on, and sometimes I'll get an email which looks like it's a text coming from an agent.
Mhm.
Excellent.
They're texting it, but it's coming back to me via email.
Because you don't have.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. Yep. That's exactly what we were just saying as far as under settings and office settings on the left-hand side under contact info. Whichever email address is under the manager's email, that's where the text replies are going to go.
So guys, I want to, let's all be really, really honest here. And I want to flush the objections out as to why you as a business owner wouldn't. And there's no wrong answer. This is optional, but let's put it on the table. Besides having another reoccurring monthly cost, which none of us want, what other reasons, is there any other reason that somebody would be skeptical to not do this besides the $15 a month? Any other reason that Michelle can help us to overcome or flush out?
To me, it's the $15 a month.
Fair enough.
It's another cost, but I do see advantages for, like Kevin said, if you want to have a local number is good. If you to text them the real estate dashboard, I think that's a good thing, because I think there's something in your literature, Michelle, that says if you just email them that link, the uptake on using the real estate dashboard is pretty low.
It's
even a month-
correct. Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you email the real estate dashboard, you lose a bunch of things with that. First of all, the agents don't understand the value. They're getting another email that they have to look at. They don't realize they have to click on that link and save it as a shortcut on their phone, right? When you text
You
it
need
to
to
them
walk
with your
through it.
Exactly. So when you're on site with them and you text it to them, first of all, service oriented, let's help them put it on their phone, right? And then you can explain to them what you're giving to them. And when they realize that you're giving them like a backdoor entrance to your schedule so they can just, put in an appointment time, that's huge. Make it easy for them to do business with you. And that'll pay for the number. It's $180 a year. One inspection will pay for the number.
I think the reason I just stuck with pretty much emails is because our email templates have so much added information and content that you can't get in a text. We have videos that we send to our listing agent, buying agent, the clients, things like that. So,
But I'm learning,
Sure.
what I've learned in the last year, we're all business owners, and I've learned too, I've been humbled on those. Those emails are too long, way too much information. And so I think as business owners, we all need to challenge ourselves into when are we touching our clients and our agents? What are we saying? And perhaps and how do they want to be communicated with? Because we want them to like us. So if we're sending them all these emails and they don't like getting emails, should we be reflecting on, geez, do they like getting text better? Or is that a question we maybe ask them? Do you prefer to get text notifications that I booked an inspection with the client?
It's a good thing to check with each
Michelle,
agent.
I have a question. Is there a way for the realtor to go into the real estate dashboard and choose their preferred communication method? Can they pick text or email?
No, not from the real estate dashboard. So they can't go in and pick the kind of communication. But once they tell you and you assign it, then you absolutely can make sure that it is what it's supposed to be.
Okay.
One suggestion in regards to this, guys, you can turn this into a contest, okay? So if you're doing a presentation at an agency and you want to talk about the real estate dashboard, and maybe you're trying to explain to them, and we're going to get to it in a minute here, but maybe you're trying to explain to them the value of the repair request list, or you're just doing a presentation on the real estate dashboard. You can turn it into a contest, so you can say, okay, first 10 agents to text this number saying, send me the dashboard, get a lottery ticket, right? The other thing you could do is, and then of course you get some extra phone numbers in your Rolodex, right? So you have more people to market to. But then another idea, which I've done personally, I think you all know that I have an inspection company, is I work with, it's called Women's Council of Realtors, or WCR. And one of the things that we did is a function called Appy Hour. So instead of happy hour, it was Appy Hour. And we invited all the agents to share their favorite apps. And of course, we shared our favorite app, the real estate dashboard. And we all did it over cheese and wine and cookies and crackers and all that kind of good stuff. So it was a fun function, and we still got to display what we wanted, and the agents got to participate as well.
What it comes down to for me, and I think we should move on to the next topic so we don't run out of time, but is it really comes down to having that local number, and us as business owners keeping our mind open for the next 35 minutes as Michelle talks to us about this unexpected value, uncovering it. Will having a local number help me as a business owner in my strategy of getting agents to like me more, communicate more effectively with me, and use the real estate dashboard? Because if they got a buyer's choice icon on their smartphone and they click it and they got all this access to all these wonderful things, will that help me grow my business? And if the answer is yes, then $15 a month is probably a pretty damn good investment if it's going to get you one inspection.
So Michelle, before we move, just to clarify, so if I text from this number, the real estate agents are gonna get text from my number, like my office number, or they're gonna be basically 902 with new number on it?
If you text it from your phone, Zhidenko,
Yeah.
if you're texting from your phone, then it's going to be your number. But if you're texting from the mobile version of ISN and you're sending a template or a cancellation notice or a reschedule notice or the real estate dashboard, it's going to come from the number that is local that you've purchased.
Yeah.
So the realtor doesn't need to update their contacts for us, I think maybe is what Zdenko's concern is. That's what I'm thinking anyway. Do they need to add that new?
A realtor would not need to update their contact for you. They can add it as an additional contact if they want. And I would encourage them to add it as the office texting number, right? But they don't have to change their way of communication with you at all.
I would use it for information purposes only. I would still, in Zdenko's case or your case, I would say to the client, the agent, you're going to get a text from me. It's going to come from my office texting number, and it's going to send you this. It's going to send you this referral. It's going to send you the real estate dashboard, this stuff, because if they respond to it, it comes to you as an email anyway.
Yeah,
you text it from your phone.
You know how the realtors are, I'm sending a text and then suddenly something new number. Who the heck is sending me now stuff, So
Sure.
That's the problem.
Quick question.
Well, maybe you send them a text initially, because remember, you can send them a direct text that says, hey, this is, ABCHI's office texting number, thanks for being awesome, or thanks for your trust, just so they could go, oh, okay, this is who it is, and then just put it in their phone.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right? Okay? All right, so we're going to talk about real estate dashboard just for a minute, but I want to talk about everything that's included with the real estate dashboard. So like Rick said, we've got ABCHI logo on their phone. Okay, so they click on the logo on their phone. What kind of value are they going to get when they click on that logo on their phone? Okay, so they have an initial dashboard where they can view all of the inspections they've done as a buyer's agent, assuming those inspections are signed for and paid. If they are not signed and paid, the agent will not have access to them. They can order an inspection with you. Now, remember, I said it was quick and easy to do business with you. So give me the address, give me the date and time, and who's your client. That inspection, when it comes in, is going to go to your incomplete inspections, and you're going to finish it up. They can update their info. So if this agent changes brokers and she moves from Exit Realty over to RE/MAX, she can update her own info, change the broker, and then change her photo if she wanted to change her photo. They can do that themselves. So that helps you because you're not having to maintain your own realtor database. They can help you keep it updated. And then, of course, the repair request list. Now, Rick, I know you told me that Adam uses the repair request list. Is there anybody else? Is Adam there? Or is there anybody else who uses it or has heard of it?
The addendum or amendment, yeah, I update all those on my reports, but the realtors can't access them because they don't have the red dashboard.
And Michelle, this is Adam. I'm here. I'm just starting to use it now. So I'm starting to use it basically because of requests I was getting from realtors. Not that they think I had a solution, but they said, why don't you send me the report? And can you send me, they say things like, can you send me the pictures too? Because I don't want to send the listing agent the whole report. I just want to send them, you know, the areas that are in question. And then I started saying, well, if I got something for you. And
Right.
that's kind of how it started. So, because they say if they send the whole report, that usually raises more questions because they see the whole, you know, the whole dump of everything that's wrong with that listing. So if the deal falls through, then, you know, there's a lot of sensitivities around sending that whole report out. So the RRL kind of addresses some of those concerns for at least I've only shown it to 3 realtors, but one of my takeaways from this meeting is to you know, hopefully kind of do a dry run of a presentation, and then, you know, it's an excuse to get into the offices and do a little, you know, they only usually give you 15 minutes, but do a little 15-minute presentation and look for ways to get some uptake from the realtors on this, on the tool.
Sure.
I think they'll like to get them doing it.
Right. Super, super great points, Adam. You know, because they do, you know, we don't want to give the listing agent the whole entire report because then they lose the negotiating power that they want, right? So when you're sending over the home inspection from Home Inspector Pro, you're able to choose which items go to the repair request list, okay? When you choose those items, you can send over the photos. And when those photos come over, the agent can then go through and say, okay, if we're talking about the garage carport electrical, and you have in here pointed out there's old wiring, well, do they want that old wiring replaced? Do they want that old wiring repaired? Or do they just want a certain dollar amount from the seller so they can take care of it themselves? They can go through each item or just delete it. If they're not worried about it, they can remove it. And then once they're all done, they can print this really cool professional list to give to the listing agent so they can go ahead and just say, these are the items we want, and this is what we want you to do about it. You know, maybe they type over this and say an additional comment, you know, we'd like to be able to do X, Y, Z, or if they're requesting money, maybe they make an additional comment. Now, Adam, I'm not sure if you know or are aware, but if you guys want to write this down, it's youtube.com/inspection support. And when you go to that website, that of course is ISN's YouTube page. There is a video there, and it's entitled Repair Request List. It was formerly known as the Reference Addendum. And this video does need to be updated. It's on my to-do list over the next couple of weeks. So it does refer to it as the Reference Addendum in the video, but it is the same exact thing, the Repair Request List. And Adam, you can take this video and play it at a presentation in an office. It is directly made to promote it to your agents and show them exactly how the feature works. This is not inspector facing, so to teach you how to do it. This is for you to use at a presentation to go, hey, we have this really cool new tool, and let me show you how to use it. This video is about 4 minutes long, so I know you said you have usually 15 minutes to talk. So with a 4.5-minute video, you should have plenty of time to have them watch it and then answer any questions they have in regards to this feature.
Michelle, can you open the dashboard back up again that you just had?
Yeah.
I just want to make sure everyone understands what they're seeing here. This is the realtor dashboard that your real estate agent would see when they open the link up on their phone or in their office. This is their view, where they can actually go in here and see my inspections. These are all the inspections that Adam, this is actually Adam's ISN, by the way. These are the inspections Adam has done for Carly. She can order an inspection for her client, she can update her own bio and photos, so she can manage how you, Adam, market for her. And then this information in the middle of the screen, this is actually, guys, this is actually Adam's information from Home Inspector Pro from his actual report. So in Home Inspector Pro, he chose send this to RRL. And this actually sends, and when he does that, when Carly opens up her dashboard as the agent, she's able to see this, edit it, create her own mini report, type her own text in, say she wants it repaired, she wants it replaced, and manage it, and then spit out a nice little pretty addendum to Adam's report that she can give to the listing agent. So this is agent view.
They can actually edit the comments we put in?
I believe they can, right, Michelle? They can edit the comments, or can they add
Yes.
to them, or what?
They can add to them, they can edit them, just like they would normally handwrite a addendum to the listing agent that says, hey, these are the things that we want. All you're doing is getting them halfway there by providing them the tools with the pictures, giving them a way for them to professionally request repair, replace, or a certain dollar amount. But they can then write the comment that they want in the addendum. So maybe they don't care if it's done by a handyman, or maybe they want a licensed professional roofer to go out there and take a look at it. Whatever the homeowner and the professional agent decide together, that's what they can go ahead and type in that comment.
Michelle, does the template that comes out, so the actual document, none of us have seen that yet. Is that actually a piece of the Home Inspector Pro stationery, or is it a separate document?
I'll show you that.
Actually, if you give me a minute here, I can show you. I just have to go to the end of the video, so bear with me just a second. Okay, so it's actually comes on a report. It is not Home Inspector Pro stationery, but it comes on, like, it's got the date, the client, the agent, and then the inspector. Is it okay, Rick, if I just hit play here, and then it'll kind of, play it out as far as what it looks like?
Sure.
Okay.
And Adam is going to demo this as well, live.
Yeah, let me see here.
I put in a couple of dummy inspections with you. With the dummy.
So, you know what, Michelle, it's actually not playing the best, so maybe let's not play it. Adam's going to show it this afternoon. But what I was getting at is, it doesn't look like a copy of Adam's actual original report, which is what we don't want. We don't want the selling agent to think it's the actual report if the agent.
No.
The buyer edits the comments. So that's perfect.
It's just a blank white sheet.
It's just doing what the agent is manually doing now.
Is there like
Yes.
a disclaimer on?
I'm sure there is.
Is there a disclaimer on that sheet, Michelle?
A disclaimer as far as what?
Like, it's not like our comments, because I could just see.
It's not our report, so
I
it's
could
not
just
really one
see, I
necessary.
could see being issues that if a realtor wants to be shady or something and changes the comments, and then he can show his customer, that's what the inspector said. And,
Yeah,
like, I could just see that being a big issue. Is there a way to lock those comments or a disclaimer or something?
There is not a way to lock the comments, but keep in mind there's not a way for you to lock what they submit in their addendum right now anyways, and you don't usually see it, right? So it's not any different than what they're doing now. You're just getting them halfway there. They've already got the comments from the home inspection anyways. There's nothing to say that they can submit an addendum with something completely different.
Yeah, but you can lock the comments from the main report, right? I'm just afraid of changing it and getting us in trouble.
So what happens, guys, is what's happening now is the realtor's there and they're furiously making notes and they're calling us and say, what do we say? What should we ask for? How should we word it? And they'll even ask us to send some pictures along. So they're already putting together their own report. This is their own report, not a buyer's choice thing. This is coming from the buyer's agent to the listing agent. We provided a little bit of information, but the same information that we're already providing now without that.
they're doing the same thing regardless now.
So I think to mitigate the risk, I agree with what Matt and Alex are both saying. If this in any way was branded a buyer's choice, or even a comment that it's an excerpt from the report, then yeah, I'd be like, let's talk about mitigation of risk. But really, all we're doing is making the agent's life better, because we're just simply giving them what they're manually doing right now. And so I wouldn't be concerned because we're not branding it up. If we were branding it a buyer's choice and saying this is an addendum to the report, yeah, I'd probably have concerns about it, then being able to edit it.
The original comments on the original report anyway.
That's right.
That's right.
Right, you have always got your report. Right.
So this would be a PDF that they could download on the computer and then they email it to the selling agent?
Exactly. So once they finish doing their adjustments here as far as what isn't important and deleting the items that are important or asking for it to be replaced or repaired or a certain dollar amount, then they just download this request and then they've got it to give to the seller. So all the pictures are there for them, any comments that they wanted to make. So just like you've been saying, it's no different than what they're already asking for. We're just giving them a tool to make it happen.
It also gives them a chance to fix all of Adam's spelling mistakes from his report.
Knob and, that's what to do, is knob and give wiring.
Up and give, really?
Yeah.
Samsung Galaxy phone, iPhone. It takes a perfectly
Okay,
good
so
word and changes
who has objections or uncertainties, but besides how the hell do I roll this out to my agents, which we're gonna get into strategy, but this functionality, does everyone see the light? Does anyone not see it? Be honest, this is a safe environment. Who does not see the light as to how the agents would love this?
I like it. I just have a few questions for Adam later.
Good. The next session after lunch, Adam is gonna dig into his ISN and show it, and we have Dustin from Alberta, who uses this to build his business in Edmonton, right here, calling us in for 5-10 minutes to talk to us about how it's helped him grow his business.
Quick question while you're talking about that. Is there any inspectors with ABCHI that uses the SMS? Michelle?
Oh, there are a ton. Yeah.
Jason does, sorry.
Oh, Jason does use the SMS. Okay.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, I mean, remember too, you guys have a lot of ABCHI guys that are in the US. There's some in New Zealand. I mean, New Zealand, not so much just because SMS there is really hard to coordinate just because it's, they're in New Zealand. But in the United States, a lot of them do. So, okay?
Yeah.
Okay. This
One sec, last closing comment on that. Our competition is not doing it yet. So let's get our shit together and let's do it. Yeah.
Does any of our competition use ISN?
Sorry for the cursing, Michelle.
Yeah, I forgot about the recording, sorry. Damn it, now I can't distribute this slide.
Yes, you can.
Somebody can randomly.
Edit it out.
I get excited about our business, yes. All right, back to you, Michelle. Sir? Wait.
Okay, well, hopefully that's done. Okay, so I don't want to spend too much time on this just because we have other things that I think are going to be really cool. But there is a template in, and let's see, whose ISN did I add this to? I added this to Zhidenko's. And if you all want to write it down, the name of the template is called Client 1-Year Follow-Up Referral Request with Agent's Information. This template, you may want to edit it just to put in the agent's photo. Hopefully you're all putting in agent's photos when you're adding them to your database. And here's what that template looks like. Now I also use the 1-year inspection anniversary container. That's the stationery, okay? And this template goes to your client 1 year after doing the home inspection, and then it specifically says, don't forget your professional agent with their picture and their contact info. Now, of course, this is super cool for the client, right? But what's even cooler about it is imagine how your agent or the brokers are totally going to love seeing this if you go into an office to do a presentation and then you say, oh, by the way, I just want you to see how I'm marketing you even out to a year after the inspection. Show the agents and the brokers this letter, they'll love it, right? Because it's free marketing that they don't have to pay for that you're doing for them. Okay?
I love it.
I thought it was for the filters. I was like, can you imagine getting a shit out of those?
All right. So if you didn't get it already written down, it's Client 1-Year Follow-Up Referral Request with Agent's Information. If you don't have it in your ISN, you can get it from the Get Templates and Containers folder. And as a side note, the 1-year inspection anniversary container, so a container is just letterhead, As a side note, that container also came from Get Templates and Containers, but just the Containers tab.
Okay.
Okay?
What is on the
All right.
bottom of that? Is it just ABCHI generic?
Let me take a look. Yeah, just the ABCHI. Well, this has Zdenko's info in it. But you can have whatever you want on it. It just depends on what your container is. So I know Rick can kind of cover containers more when you guys have some time, because I know he's created some really cool ones. But you can find a lot of stuff in the Get Templates and Containers folder. So, make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's go on to the vendor and marketing ads. Now, Zdenko, I do want to say that, you know, I've always looked at this section as being really good for vendors, right? But the fact that you're using this section to market your brand, I think is genius, and it's my favorite thing about the whole presentation. Okay? So I just want to tell you, I think that's pretty awesome. So let me show you guys what this looks like. So we've all seen the report delivery page, or hopefully you've at least sent yourself a report so you can see what the report delivery page looks like. So this is Zdenko's report delivery page. Looks awesome, right? So he's got his agent information here. He's got his report, of course, our map. And then down below that, he has a section where he is advertising or branding your company, advertising the home maintenance inspections, advertising his team. So in ISN, you can put these ads in. Most people don't use them. Okay, so I'm going to show you how you're going to do this, and then I know that if we need more of a how-to, we can do that in a different session. The first thing you're going to do is in your settings, actually, I'll just show you on this help article. No, I won't. I'll show you within an ISN. Bear with me just a second here. Settings, office settings. Pardon?
I said it's easy, even I figured it out.
Yep. So settings and office settings, you're going to make sure on the report delivery page, so left-hand side, middle, guys, where it says report delivery page, you want to make sure it says show vendor ads on the web delivery page. Okay, so technically it's not other vendors, technically it's you, but you're going to say show vendor ads. The next thing you're going to do is in the ISN under admin, you're going to see where there's a place that says vendors. So when you click on admin and vendors, that's where you're going to go in and you're going to create your ads. So the first one, a Buyer's Choice Greater Halifax, if I click on the pencil, because pencil in ISN's always edit, right? So if I click on the pencil, here is where Zdenko created that ad. So he put in the logo and then he put in the content. So the logo, of course, appeared at the top and the content appeared underneath. Okay, so pretty slick, pretty cool under admin and vendors. Any questions about that, guys?
I think it's important to mention that before anybody says, hey, why isn't this in my ISN? I did this a couple days ago as a beta. I was trying to find other ways too. It's not that Zdenko's my favorite, although he, you know, does do fairly well. I did this. Yeah, that's right. You know, although he produces lots of volume, you know, so I do help him a lot, but no. This is a beta, and it's for us to discuss today, because I'm still impartial about the vendor ads. I think it's brilliant that they're there and how we could use them. However, I think if we run the risk of our report delivery screen getting too busy and too cluttered, or getting too confusing, and what we put on there can really be portrayed negatively. So I think there's a good roundtable discussion we should have around how could we use these, because each and every one of you, including contractors, are a part of your franchise owners' company key. You'll have the same access to do your own vendor ads. It's not one across the board. Every single ISN office, you can do this yourself. And I'll gladly help anyone do it, but let's discuss how to do it in a tasteful, smart way that will drive more business to you.
Yeah, if you're running a particular special, I think, Rick, that would be super cool. Right now, you know, to put in here home maintenance inspections, I just think there's so many opportunities, and I thought it was pretty awesome. So, you know, kudos for that. Any questions as far as like how to set it up at all? And I know Rick's going to cover it. Okay. Let me see how I'm doing on time. I think I have about 10 minutes. Is that true?
Maybe 15.
15? Okay, so let's talk about the online scheduler because I think there's just some important talking points. We're not going to get through the entire setup of the online scheduler, but I want to just talk about as far as why people don't use the online scheduler. So quick story in regards to this. When I started with ISN, which has been about 3.5, 4 years ago, I was an ISN user first, and then I started working for ISN. I was not using the online scheduler. And the reason I wasn't using the online scheduler is because almost every single one of these reasons on this page, okay? I could close every sale that calls the office. I didn't want the clients to see my schedule. I didn't want to work in certain areas. I wasn't sure it would be able to block enough time. My pricing had so many variables, and some of my inspectors could do certain jobs and some of my inspectors couldn't. So most of you know Dan Huber. Dan Huber and I were teaching at a particular class back when I started, and he assumed that I used the online scheduler. So of course I had to admit in front of the whole class and Dan that I didn't, right? Which was pretty humiliating. So then I had to very quickly bring myself up to speed with the online scheduler. And what I learned was I could debunk every single one of these, okay? There's just a little bit of tweaking that has to go into the online scheduler. So after I went through, and this is under settings, office settings, and down at the bottom, online scheduler, after I went through every single one of these options and every single one of these tabs, the very first job that was booked through my online scheduler was an $850 job. So then, of course, I got to eat a little bit of crow, okay? So in this section, remember I just said we can debunk just about everything. You have adjustments as far as driving distances. So if you want to make sure that you're going to have enough time to travel from one appointment to the next, you can adjust for driving distances. If you don't want inspections to be booked for the next day, you can turn that off. If you don't want inspections booked for the next day after 2 o'clock, you can turn that off, okay? You can have inspections go to incomplete, which is my recommendation, so you have an opportunity to upsell your services, or you can have them go straight to complete, which means they're going to trigger your agreements, which is fine. This can be used with no humans involved, but I always like the opportunity to give you the option to upsell or have the opportunity to upsell your clients, okay? Your services. Your services can be very, very unique. You could have a service in here called Healthy Home Inspection. And your Healthy Home Inspection could include mold, radon, possibly a wet inspection, you know, depending on whether or not that would apply. So those 3 services could make up one particular inspection called a Healthy Home Inspection. You can do premium packages. You can do silver packages. You can put notes in here as far as how they can upgrade. Some of the things to keep in mind, millennials are not going to call you. They're going to want to do business on the internet. 55% of people conduct business over the internet and don't even pick up a phone to call you. So my daughter, when she goes to do something, the first thing she does is goes on her phone and tries to see if she can do it on the web so she doesn't have to talk to a human. So you want to make sure that you're not missing out on that business for those people who just don't want to pick up the phone and call you, that you're giving them an option to be able to schedule with you online. Okay, let me go in here. couple other things about the online scheduler. You can show the calendar and allow them to pick a date and time. You could either display the inspectors. So for those of you who have multiple inspectors within an office, you can display all the inspectors and let your agents choose, which is super cool. Or if you don't want to do that, maybe you're a single operator, you can just say, don't show the inspector's name, and then go ahead and give them choices. The one thing I would say is I do recommend the third option that says don't show the calendar and instead display a list of 10 options. What's nice about this is you're telling them these are my next 10 openings, and they're not having to click on a calendar and see that you're not available. They just are given options of when you are available. So from a user point of view, I have found this to be much more friendly. And that's actually one of the settings on the first page here, under settings, office settings, and setting up your online scheduler.
So,
do you guys have things that, okay, I don't want to use the online scheduler because, what are some of those things that are keeping you from using it?
I've thought about it, but here's my concern. We always talk about, you don't want the realtor to think you're not busy, So I feel like if they see my schedule and see that I'm wide open on certain days or 2 days in a row, that should give them a bit, or 3 days or 4 days, they could say, oh, well, he's not very busy. There must be something why people are not using him. That's what.
Right. There must be something wrong. So if you're not busy, okay, let's go with that assumption. Let's say that, it's getting to be that time of year anyways when, business is starting to slow down. So here's my suggestion. Under calendar, my online schedule, that's where you're going to set up your availability as far as what appointments. So typically we might work 9 and 1, 9 and 1, 9 and 1, or something along those lines. When you set up your online schedule, what I would do is I would only give yourself availability maybe on Mondays and Wednesdays, or maybe only on Tuesdays and Thursdays, or maybe only Mondays and Thursdays. You don't have to put all 5 days, right? So then that way, if you say, here's my next available time slots, it's only going to show the time slots on those days. And they're not going to think, oh, okay, well, he's super slow because he's got an opening every single time, every single day. Right?
That's a good idea. And then there's also a message that we have on everybody's screen that I put there that says, is the time you're looking for not available or looking for another date or time, contact our office to make arrangement. So maybe that's
Right. So under your office setting or office settings, online scheduler settings, on that bubble, you can put whatever you want to put in that in no appointments and on a top info banner. So on a banner, maybe you put in that you're running a certain special or whatever the case may be, or just like Rick said, for your no appointments, you can say, if you're looking for a specific day and time that's not available, please call our office. We can probably make an exception. And then they feel special.
So Michelle, our entire team, because I think what we'll do is we'll set up a second session just to go into the online scheduler settings to teach everyone how to go in and tweak their own, because my entire region, everyone in this room, including contractors, as of yesterday, all have their online scheduler turned on, their own. On their new website, they all have book an inspection online, including the contractors. And thirdly, everyone with their business Facebook page also have the option to book your inspection on your Facebook page. That's turned on for everybody in this room. So it's all there. And when I set them all up, because we're an online company, we're open for business. Someone wants to book us online, especially those millennials. We're ready for you. But when I set it up in a way that was very just basic, because there's so much logic that goes into setting up the online schedule, like your price schedule, like the services, what's there, what's not, and it really is a personal thing for each inspector. So it's really set up to say, this is me, the customer, this is my real estate agent, this is the date and time I want, and they hit submit. And then the inspector gets an email, the client gets an email that says, thanks for doing your online order, you'll hear from your inspector shortly to firm it up. So that's how it's set up today for everybody in the room, unless you've gone in and manually played it and set up yourself. But I think we should build on that, and we should do a one-on-one with you, or another session on how do you fully set up your schedule so everybody individually can do it?
Sure, absolutely. I'd be happy to do that. There are a lot of nuances to the online scheduler, and based on my experiences, there are some things that, really work well, and then in my opinion, there are some things that I just, don't think work well. So I think that would be a good session for us to do. Hopefully, you guys would enjoy that as well.
Never mind clients and that whole generation of people online. Like, I know when Trevor wants a haircut, he doesn't want to talk to anybody at Sailor Bubs. He books his haircuts online. They don't want to talk to people. People don't anymore a lot of times. So we want to be that platform. When they find us online, they say, yeah, this guy doesn't look like a creep. He's got a professional website. Oh, look, he's got good Facebook reviews. Oh, perfect. I don't have to talk to him. I can just book him online directly. We want to be that company. We'll take everybody.
Right. And just, keep in mind, guys, you've got two very valuable tools. You have Real Estate Dashboard and the Online Scheduler, but they are very, very different and serve very different purposes. Real Estate Dashboard gives your schedule first because we're trying to make it quick and easy for agents to do business with you. The Online Scheduler gives your schedule last. That's not going to change. Here's the reason why it's last. We need the square footage. We need the year built. We need to know where it's at. We need to know what services they want. Any other questions that we can possibly come up with before we can decide what day and time is available to be booked. So just keep that in mind. That's why we have the two separate tools, because we're looking at two different audiences. Okay?
Those are two very different talk tracks and sales potential, right? So if the agent is using the Real Estate Dashboard and the agent is doing their conditions with the client, and the agent's going to refer, Adam as one of their inspectors, the agent might only go, ideally, the agent goes as far as to say, well, let me check Adam's schedule real quick and see if he has availability Tuesday. You know what he does? You can go and you can book him online yourself directly and just choose the Tuesday date that he has availability that afternoon. So that's an example. The agent might not want to book them directly because they want to do 2 or 3 names. However, there might be some agents that just hit click and book agent Adam right there and then, and that would be ideal. That's where we want to get, right?
Yep, exactly. Okay. Okay, Rick, how am I doing on time?
We have lunch in 10 minutes, so, and I'd love to leave a little bit of time for questions. So what do we have left that I asked you to cover?
Say that last sentence one more time, Rick.
What was left in the topics? I mean, there shouldn't be much left.
No, actually, there's not too much left. The only thing that I've got in here is I put in a slide just letting you know that, you can adjust as far as radius, adjust which inspectors are assigned to a specific service on the online scheduler. You can ask custom questions, and those questions can then assign a fee. So if you have something that, okay, I need to know how many outbuildings it is, and based on the outbuildings, you can assign a fee. You can do that on the online scheduler as well. And you can adjust your communication based on, who's booking and what kind of communication you want. So, like Rick said, there's lots of things we can cover with the online scheduler. Since we do only have 5-10 minutes left, what questions do you guys have just in general since you've got me on the phone? What can I help with?
Are fees going to be available soon on the mobile app?
Fees are not in process right now to be available on the mobile app because in order to bring down all the many, many ways that people calculate the fees, it does take lots of bandwidth. I do know it's on the development schedule, but it's not going to be in the next week or 2 or anything like that. It is on the development schedule, though.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Is anybody in the room, and be really honest, besides the new people still training, is anybody not using ISN mobile on their phone? Anybody? Be honest, we're not going to shame you or anything.
When I use it on my phone, I use the desktop version because the mobile version is not good.
Oh, really? Okay.
What do you want?
You heard that before? That kind of feedback?
I think it's great on my iPhone, but I have a big.
I use the mobile. That makes a difference.
Mobile version
is there any? Go ahead, Michelle. Sorry.
No, go ahead, Rick. Go ahead.
No, I was going to move it along if no one had other questions. You go ahead.
All I was going to say is mobile version, one of the things that one of my clients did yesterday, because he wanted to know how he could get access to his calendar very, very quick and easy. So, you know, for the gentleman that uses the desktop version and he jumps to desktop version, if you jump to desktop version, you can save that as a shortcut on your phone as well. So you could have one that's mobile, and then you can have one that's desktop version, and that might help you as far as your productivity. So,
How do you do that?
you know, pardon?
How do you do that?
So on a iPhone, when you open up your mobile version of ISN, on an iPhone, and this is the same way you save it as a shortcut on a real estate agent's phone if you're sending them the real estate dashboard. On an iPhone, you're going to have a square at the bottom of the screen, and I'll open up a screenshot here so you guys can see it. You're going to have a square on the bottom of the screen, and when you click on that square, it's going to present you with a list of options. So do you see the square on the bottom of my screen here, guys?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. All right, so whatever page you're on your iPhone. So let's say you went to mobile and then you clicked on desktop version, right? And what this guy did yesterday, which I thought was super cool, is he clicked on, from there, he went to his calendar, right? So he's on his calendar page on his mobile phone. Then he clicked on the square with the up arrow. Then he was presented with the options to add it to his home screen. So what did he just do right there? He created one-touch access to his schedule. So when somebody calls and says, can you do this Thursday at 2, he can click on that icon rather than having to go to the mobile or his laptop or something. He can just click on that icon to get his calendar. Okay? Now, if you're on an Android phone's going to be a little bit different. And again, like I said, this is the same as you would do for a real estate agent if you text them the real estate dashboard. On an Android phone, in the upper right-hand corner, usually there's 3 dots, 3 vertical dots, and they're circled on my screen in red. So when you click on those 3 dots, you're presented with an option that says add to home screen. Sometimes instead of add to home screen, it says create shortcut. Either one of those will work. We're not looking for a bookmark here. We're looking for either create shortcut or add to home screen. If you don't see the 3 dots in the upper right-hand corner on an Android phone, sometimes the other thing you will see is the word more. And when you click on the word more, then you're presented with those options. And this will work for any web page. So if you have a web page on your phone that you're looking, you know, you're going to all the time, just create a shortcut on your phone. Make life easy for yourself.
Perfect.
Okay?
Okay, quick group survey. All of the content that you saw in here today, will this help your business?
Yes.
Okay? The stuff that you saw here today, could this help make you more money? Yes. Okay, and then all the stuff you saw in here today, do you think your competitors are using this stuff?
Not yet.
Probably not, and not yet. We're very comfortable being 6 to 8 months ahead of our competition in Canada, and that's how we do business. We tend to barrel through, and we introduce it to the market first, and it always gives us an edge. So, Michelle, the task I gave you today, I know was not easy, where I said I don't want to talk about anything that we already do. I don't want to talk about core stuff. I want to talk about new, and ways to grow our business. And you did an amazing job of that. So thank you for taking the time to do this session for us and join us. And we'll definitely do a follow-up session to dig into some of these things.
Sounds very good. Thanks for the opportunity, Rick. It was really great to talk to all of you guys this morning. Zdenko, go get that SMS number for me, okay? I'll feel like I got my goal met today. All right? All right. You guys have a good afternoon, okay?
Thank you.
All right, take care.